We welcome you into college basketball on the ACC Network. Today in Little John Coliseum, it's a battle of Tigers. Texas Southern out of the Southwestern Athletic Conference taking on Clemson of the ACC. Hope you're having a great Thanksgiving weekend. And with Jim Davis, Pete Hannity with you. Well, today a Texas Southern team that has played an unbelievable list of opponents so far, all on the road. They will be a handful for this Clemson team.
Road Warriors, battle-tested, played against some of the very best competition in America.
And they have dominated the conference they're in, the SWAC. They feature a point guard who their coach Mike Davis says may be one of the 10 best in the nation, DeMontre Jefferson.
Well, he is tiny, only 5'7", but averaging 22 points a game. More importantly, shooting 48% from beyond the arc.
Meanwhile, the Clemson Tigers getting a great start for Donte Grantham in his senior season, averaging better than 17.
He has been smooth, solid in every phase of the game, Pete.
And Grantham and the Tigers trying to go to 5-1 and win their third in as many regular season games here in Little John this season. As we tip it off, Elijah Thomas for the Tigers against the 7-2 Trayvon Reed of Texas Southern. Our starting lineups, including Reed averaging a double-double coming in terms of points and rebounds. Second time this season the Tigers have faced a player averaging a double-double in those categories, as the Tigers of Texas Southern have the ball first. As for Clemson's starting five, becoming a familiar group and one with really a great deal of experience in college hoops, including Shelton Mitchell, now in his second year in the program, distributing 5 assists per game. As a drive inside by Scott for Texas Southern, no, the ball comes down to the Tigers. Clark can be a matchup issue on the wing at 6'4". Mitchell defending Jefferson. Little lob for the big fella who taps it on in there, and Trayvon Reed will head to the line. Foul inside against the Tigers. Gabe DeVoe, third on the Tiger team, and DeVoe's first.
No doubt about it. The little guy just threw it up, and we don't have anybody to get up there with him, I don't think, because he was way above that rim.
Texas Southern the early lead, but Shelton Mitchell will have a chance to bring the Tigers within a point when he goes to the free throw line. Back here in Little John Coliseum, Thanksgiving Friday. Again, hope your holiday weekend has been safe and happy so far. With Jim Davis, Pete Hannity with you. But a big storyline early on here for the Clemson Tigers. Back to Marquise Reed, second leading scorer on the team with 2 quick personal fouls.
Yeah, Marquise, well, he had the assignment of guarding Jefferson first and foremost, so that's how much value Brad Brownell puts on his defensive effort. That was a ticky-tack foul, if you want to know the truth, Pete. But the officials called it a foul. It's a foul. But Marquise has been really, really helping this basketball team with his, not just with his scoring, but with his defense and rebounding.
Tigers off the first loss of the season Sunday against Temple, but they won 2 out of 3 down in Charleston. A victory against Hofstra as well, and right there the Tigers trying to establish a good start. They had a solid start in that loss against Temple, and a soft touch by this year is an unbelievable list. There's one from the corner, and it looked like Mitchell for Grantham for Thomas for the jam. Ways into the second half and eventually lost a close game in overtime. Thomas, the turnaround. Donnell, he can hit him from long range, and he does that time. The Michigan transfer was, of course, was around quite a few in his many years coaching either at Indiana, UAB, or is now looking to back in on the 7-2. Reed who just checked back in.
Shot fake very well.
DeVoe, he hit one from a little closer over that way. DeVoe, he scored from the outside. Now he scores from just... There's Dante Clark inside, and Thomas, another one might have been affected by trap. And DeVoe doesn't have the numbers. Step back 3 and ahead to Grantham. And Dante slipped past the 5'7" Jefferson. Carolina Tar Heels, they were UNC's first win on their way to another national title. Under 10 to go, Mitchell out high.
Maybe a pick and pop here. No, he's done. Give it to Shelton down low. Ooh.
Good denial inside by Salmon. Half-court heave Jefferson. And that's how the first half will come to an end. Give Texas Southern credit. They defended for the final 20 seconds to keep this a 4-point deficit as Mike Davis and crew head on into their locker room, and the Clemson Tigers head to the halftime locker room. 4-0 this season when leading at the break. They're up by 4 here in Little John. Halftime here in Littlejohn Coliseum. The Tigers of Clemson up on the Tigers of Texas Southern, 40-36 is our score. As Clemson's trying for a 5-1 start on the season with Jim Davis, Pete Hannity back with you. And Clemson team that saw Texas Southern lead by as many as 6 in the opening half, and with Marquise Reed in early foul trouble. But I thought Brad Brownell did some nice things to really get the half-court offense going. And Elijah Thomas inside, Gabe DeVoe outside have been a big story.
No question about it. This is a game basically of guard play, except for Elijah Thomas. And he really has done a great job posting up low. And he has made some great moves to finish those shots. 6 of 7 from the field. He's playing very, very well on both ends of the floor. 2 or 3 blocks already. But the thing about it is DeMontre Jefferson just amazes me. He's been on the court all 20 minutes. As a matter of fact, you might have mentioned earlier, Pete, he averages 41 minutes a game.
That's something.
They obviously had an overtime game for him to average 41, but he never comes off the floor. 20 minutes and no turnovers.
Take a look at our numbers in the opening half. Perhaps Elijah Thomas facing a home state team. He's from Dallas, Texas. That's a little bit more revved up for a non-conference game than he might be, but a great start for him team-wise. Each ball club doing a pretty solid job shooting. And again, just like so often is the case in college basketball, the three-point shot can mean all the difference, and that's why the Tigers have the 4-point lead.
They came from behind with those threes from DeVoe there.
Notice the points in the paint. Good first half for Elijah Thomas, but Texas Southern with a 7-2 center, and others also attacking the basket. Halftime continues after this. A little glider, and Thomas inside, back up with it, gets it to go. And here come the Tigers. Grantham, Mitchell, clear path, and he puts it up and in. It helps the whole scheduling deal that they're not home at all early on in the. It certainly helps the budget. Their football program's FCS. I'm not all that familiar with how many checks they go on the road and get in. Thomas, Grantham. Here comes Clemson. The lob for Grantham. Marquise Reed giving the fine.
He's playing really well.
Spencer, a nice move. Loads up for 2, and Scott Reed getting 2 quick fouls. And now with Shelton Mitchell not seeing a lot of action. Trap seeing all side. No, but there's a 7-2 Reed. Rejected. Tigers get it across the line with a second to spare. And he will just dribble away. The Tigers will see the seconds wind down. Spencer will hang on to it, and the Clemson Tigers will survive a late 13-6 run by Texas Southern. As Clemson improves to 5-1 on the season, Texas Southern 0-6. But they have given some of the big boys some pretty good battles here in the early going of this 2017 and 18 campaign, and they end up falling here against Clemson 84-77.
Well, once again, I just think DeVoe and Thomas, I've never seen Thomas play a better basketball game, and I still think he's got more of that in him.
Yeah, they both do. Career high days for Thomas, 26 points, DeVoe 21 points, and Eli Thomas a career high in rebounds as well with 16. For Jim Davis, Pete Hannity saying so long. This has been a presentation of ESPN.